the baby would kill me. So is the baby's life more important than mine? We just wonder with that belief, since I'm one of those people that would kind of be put in a position if I got pregnant to choose between a baby and my life. So where do you fall with that?
Care for both mother and child.
But the baby would literally kill me.
Does that happen?
It is not a choice. So I have been told by the OB, my husband had to go get a vasectomy because she said if I got pregnant again, I was lucky. She said I was absolutely lucky that we went ahead and had the baby a month early, because had the baby gone any longer, it would have killed me. So she said you absolutely cannot have kids anymore. So where do you fall with that?
With not having kids, or where do I fall on?
I can't. I mean, if I had to choose, you don't believe in abortion at all, which I understand. There's reasons I don't believe in it too. But if it comes down to, you know, like they didn't know, luckily they made me have a C-section a month early. But had I not had the C-section early, it would have killed me. So if I accidentally got pregnant again, that's choosing between getting an abortion to save my life or going ahead with the pregnancy for the baby, and the baby may die and I may die. Or I will die, but the baby might die. So, don't you feel like maybe that's one time that it is okay if it's that dire to a woman's health?
Okay to do what?
To abort the baby. So if she found out she's pregnant and she knows it's going to kill her, does she not have the right to say, this baby's gonna kill me, so I need to get an abortion or I'm going to die?
Well, you may have to ask the question, what is abortion exactly?
Abortion is killing the baby. That's why I don't believe in abortion, because I understand I believe the baby has a heartbeat the second it's conceived. But then, if I choose between this little thing that's not completely created or my life, then...
Well, it's created. The child exists from the moment of fertilization. And
what about rape? That's what my daughter's a big one. Those are our only two reasons we believe in it. We don't believe people should be able to get rid of mistakes. We don't, they should be being more careful. But when it comes to rape and the woman didn't ask for it, and her and I argue about the rape one a little bit, or my health, I don't believe in it. I mean, I don't believe in all this stuff, and I don't think anyone needs to see it because...
Well, they do.
No, well, people that think they can just get rid of a baby because they had a one-night stand, didn't think of the consequences. But someone like me, who I absolutely love children, but if something would have happened, my husband's, just had that one in there to get through, and now I know it's going to kill me. I don't need to see that because it's going to be hard enough for me to do it in the first place since I don't believe in it. Or if I would have gotten raped before my husband got his vasectomy, then I'm forced to carry a baby, no one is going to kill me? That's what you guys really believe?
Well, I mean, all life is valuable, all life is sacred, and we should respect all human life from fertilization to natural death. And I mean, if a girl or woman is raped, we should care for her and her child. We shouldn't make the child suffer the consequences.
Is that woman supposed to suffer for 9 months, reliving the rape, because she's got something inside her?
Well, you assume that she'd be reliving the rape.
I can't barely hear you.
You assume that I'd say, how about we take the stance that she's strong enough to care for her child, and Christians can come alongside her and help her. Her family and friends can help her.
That would be nice, but you know as well as I do, this world's not full of Christians.
Well, I know, but there are Christians who would help her.
And even with Christians, I totally respect you guys and all. Like I said,
so you're not a Christian yourself? Or?
I live by the commandments, and I believe in what Jesus believed in, but I don't. My whole family's atheist, and I live with them, and I try and teach them, but I don't put it out there for them. And the whole reason I won't go to church and be like that is because I have had my very Christian brother-in-law call us into SRS for medical neglect because my daughter was not born perfectly and there was nothing we could do, therefore we weren't gonna We were teaching her to love herself for who she was. My very Christian in-laws would not accept my daughter because she was not born perfect. But they taught Bible school. They were swore up and down they were Christian. And I've had numerous experiences where that happens, so I don't come out and just say that just because you're a Christian, you're a great person, because obviously my brother-in-law wasn't, obviously my mother-in-law wasn't, and we sat at that Wendy's over there the other day, my husband and I, an atheist and someone who believes in all that God has written and believes, and this deaf guy comes in, and he has this little pamphlet with a little pin on it that says, I'm deaf, trying to raise money, buy 1 pen for $3 to help me out, or 2 for $5. My husband and I didn't even think twice. We dug through all our change and everything, gave that guy money. But this family right behind us, Catholic, very out there Catholic, looked at that guy very rudely and told him to go away. So that's why I'm done with it. I mean, I'm going to live my own way. I raised my kids in the church of mom. I believe in morals. I taught them right from wrong. But both of them say they're atheists because of what they see so-called Christians doing. And this is another reason, because my daughter says if you're raped, which is her biggest fear, she's 20, she said, I shouldn't have to carry a baby. For one, she has Asperger's and she has mental illness. She's not capable of carrying a baby. She's not capable of taking care of herself. She's not, I would not, if she chose this. Yeah, I'd be sad because I just lost my grandchild and all that, and that's a life. I was 19, found out I was pregnant with my son, not married. And when my husband asked me to get an abortion, I looked at him and I said, nope, God decided I wasn't supposed to get pregnant, and that God decided to let me have this baby. But what we didn't know, and they didn't know because we had shoddy doctors, was that I had a condition where, again, I had him a month and a half early, but my uterus gets super, super thin. I've got very weak connective tissues, and both of them could have ruptured out of me and killed me. So when they told me with the second one, that's it, it freaked me out. And, with both of them, I chose to do the right thing. But if it comes to my health and being able to, because I have to be there for her, she has issues, so if I'm going to choose between a baby that could kill me or being able to raise my child who needs me that's already here, I'm going to choose her. And I'm not putting down your guys' beliefs. I'm not. Don't take me that way, because I'm totally there. But I think there should be areas where it's not so black and white.
Well, do you know what the Sixth Commandment says? Do you know what the Sixth Commandment says?
I know most of the commandments.
It says you shall not murder.
I cannot bear with the traffic.
It says you shall not murder.
You shall not
murder.
I know you shall not murder, but people...
And there are no exceptions for that. And in the cases you're talking about, they're real doctors who actually respect life. They can help with that. And if a girl or woman is raped, Christians can help them through that process, and they can support her child. That's what Christians do.
There was real Christians out there.
They're out there.
All I've met is judgmental Christians. I've met. I was in a church and I was struggling really hard to raise 2 special needs kids, and they told me that my link from God was severed because I had to be on the antidepressants, and that my children, there was believed in the past that children are stoned, and I was not welcome in that church because I refused to take a paddle to my kids. And that was the last church I went to. I said, that's just it.
There are good churches out there.
My mom got kicked out of a church because she got a divorce from a husband that kept cheating on her. My stepmom, when she got remarried, she kept trying to reach out to churches to help her because she was severely depressed that her husband had died, and his best friend moved in on her and got her into meth, and she kept trying to reach out to the church. They did not much help her. She ended up accidentally committing suicide. The friend who got her into meth was also abusive, and no one did anything for her. So, you show me...
Are you following Jesus Christ?
Oh, I do myself.
Okay.
I don't force anyone else to. I tell them my beliefs, and I respect if they have other beliefs. So,
well,
to me,
because you don't want to base Jesus Christ or Christianity on those out there who give him a bad name, because that's always been a problem where you have professing Christians, and the Bible talks about this, who they don't act like Christians because they're not even saved. But there are genuine Christians out there who, and what you're talking about, they'd be there to help. I'm one of them.
Yeah,
I would be there to help.
I would love to
they're out there.
Get a whole church full of them, because I'm sick of. That's why I pulled myself out, was because here I was raised very Christian, yet my father beat me on a daily basis, and my uncle sexually molested me. But we were in a Christian family. I pray, and that's why I believe in God, is because I prayed every night for him to kill me. And he said my life was more important. And my name literally means God's gift. I was the first girl in 400 years. And the whole time I was pregnant with her, my husband had a bad feeling and said, you need to have a C-section early like Jordan. You need to have it. And when they told me when it happened, because I got sick, and I believe the Lord made me sick so I would go early, then I looked at him and I said, I know you don't believe in it, but that was the Lord telling you. She's not listening. You need to get her to understand she needs a C-section early. I said, and the Lord decided I was probably actually pregnant with twins, but all of a sudden I think I lost one. Doctors didn't figure it out, but I figured it out because I found out later my husband's side of the family had twins in it, and my levels were higher. They were looking for the twin, and my daughter supposedly has had her twin come to her and talk to her. But had I carried barely 5 months with the twins, both of them and me would have died. So yes, I believe in all that, but I don't think there's a lot of true Christians out there that
you're right.
live the word. There's a lot of Christians that they think they go to the church. They think because they go to church that makes them just good and all that. And Catholic priests prove that it's really bad. How can a priest do that to a child? And the Catholic, and they protect them. You just sexually molested a boy. Okay, you're going to move to this church. No, he goes to jail. He lives just like everybody else. No special rules for just because you're a Christian. You should not get special rules. And to me, I don't believe you have to go to a church to be a Christian, because Jesus didn't preach in a church. He preached everywhere, and that's the way I do it.
He did preach in a synagogue, but he preached other places too.
He preached from the sides, and so that's why. In the churches, they were teaching my kids the wrong thing. I had a church teach me at 13 and my little 9-year-old brother about the Revelations. Scared me to death. Told all of us we weren't going to go to hell. We weren't going to be saved. We were going to get our heads chopped off. That's what they taught. That we were all going to die in damnation, and it scared me away from church for 2 years. Who tells a kid that? So what I tell my kids, they know the way it could be, and I tell them all the time, I really wish you would come to the Lord, because I said I will be sad to live in heaven without you guys with me. And if I truly, truly believe in the word, that means my stepmom isn't going to be in heaven either, which I feel like things are interpreted wrong, because after her boyfriend beat her, and she knew she was going to go to jail because she fought back, she took a bottle of aspirin. Well, that mixed with all the meth she had done in the past, she went to jail, and no one in the jail even though the family kept calling saying, have you pumped her stomach, have you pumped their stomach? They were neglectful. She died of an accidental overdose. Well, that's seen as suicide because she tried to take a whole bottle of aspirin. So does that mean I'm not going to see my mom in heaven because she did a suicide? I believe that. No, I believe the Lord looks beyond all that, looks at the circumstances, and, he's the one that took her. So, I gotta interpret it the way, there's some things I believe that people believe that are a lot more harsh than they need to be. Things aren't cut and dry.
Some things are. Not everything is, but some things are.
Well, supposedly, do you believe that because my mom's committed suicide, she's in hell? Great woman, absolutely great woman, but because she made a bad decision, I don't
believe that if you kill yourself, that automatically means you're going to hell.
They're trafficking around again.
I had a friend who killed himself almost 2 years ago, and I don't believe he's in hell. because I knew him very intimately, and so I don't hold that belief. Some do, that if you die by suicide, you go to hell. I don't believe that.
See, I have fibromyalgia and very severe chronic pain. And I know a lot of people that have chronic pain, and that drives a lot. Most of your suicides are done by chronic pain sufferers because they just can't take the pain anymore. You know, I can pray all I want to the Lord. It doesn't make my pain go away anymore. And the way that my Christian friends and I see it is we're in this much pain for the people that can't deal with this much pain all the time. So my daughter doesn't have to suffer pain. I'm taking hers on for her because I can. That's the way that we believe. So, but it makes it, you know, I sit there on my really bad pain days and I think about it. Oh, do I think about it? Because I hurt
suicide?
so bad. Huh?
About suicide?
Yep. I've been in the hospital twice because my thoughts have gotten so bad because of medication. So it's depression. I mean, to me, the Lord wouldn't have allowed depression to happen if he didn't expect people to give into it. So, and I have hit the rock bottom of depression, and I was lucky that I had the love for my children that I had. That was the one thing I've had instilled in me is love of children. It was, you know, I didn't want to leave my kids behind. And that was the only thing that kept me alive. So, no, I gotta go.
So what, I guess before you go, do you know for sure if you died today, you would go to heaven?
Oh yeah, I do. Because I've asked to be saved many times. I've professed, I believe, that the Lord died on the cross. And I tell my family that all the time too. I will not argue with that. I do believe. They argue that, yes, there was a Jesus, but, you know, the Bible's overblown things, but, you know, I hold my belief true. I know that there's a Lord above. I know that he helps me through everything, and I pray almost nightly that he forgive me for my sinful thoughts of wanting to just die a lot of times because I hurt so bad. So yeah, I do think I will. I worry all my family won't, but I know that I will.
So do you read the Bible?
I do. I have the devotions, Jesus Calling, and I do that. And I also have the Bible on my phone. I don't listen to it every day, but there's stuff that, you know, I mainly listen to and pay attention to the New Testament, not so much the Old Testament, because that's kind of, to me, I think the Old Testament kind of contradicts what the New Testament says a lot of times, you know, about, it makes God seem like the most hateful thing in the world, and I don't believe that, so I don't.
Oh, he's not. I mean, he's a God of hatred and a God of love, a God of mercy, a God of wrath.
Yeah,
and we have no right to judge him as human beings. My brain doesn't function words like when I'm trying to. I want to say amendment, but not the word thought. Anyway, do not kill, like you said. But then God told people to march in and kill a whole village. You know that. And he had a good reason for doing that.
I know he had a good reason, but you know what? Women that get raped and it's going to do their health, they have good reason too.
But they're not God.
So you just contradicted yourself.
No, I didn't, because God has a right to take human life. He's the one who gives life. He has a right to take life. We're not God. We have no right to take life.
I know.
We have no right to murder somebody.
But God did not take the village. God told people to take the village.
Yeah, they were commanded to. But when we murder somebody, we're not doing it because God told us to do it. We're going on our own evil desires.
Okay, then I believe that everything's done for a reason. I believe conception is God's work. I truly believe conception, every single conception is God's work.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're telling me that God wants that woman to die if that baby's going to kill her. That's what you're saying. That's where I'm... Because I believe... No, I truly don't believe in killing. To me, that amendment, or God, commandment, that's the word, goes for people like me and you. If I walk up to you, say, I don't believe in what you're doing, and shoot you. That is morally wrong. That is no ifs, ands, or buts. But I still believe those people can be saved if they ask to. Because I don't believe people were born evil. I believe it's stuff that's happened to them. Chemically, yes, they can be, they can have, where they can't control their thoughts and ambitions. I don't believe people were born evil.
You know, the Bible says they're conceived in sin. Psalm 51 says that. In sin did my mother conceive me.
Okay, so you're saying...
Well, I'm saying God says it.
Okay, you're God. Wait,
the God of the Bible.
The God of the Bible, okay.
The only God.
You're saying that, okay, let's say Dennis Rader.
Mm-hmm.
His parents sinned, therefore that's how he turned out the way he did?
No, I mean everybody sins, and he took the path and chose that path.
Yeah, he chose. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't born that way.
He was conceived in sin, yes. And
you're saying he's conceived in sin. What does that matter?
Everybody
what
is.
Is that?
Everybody is.
Okay, that's what.
Dennis Rader or me and you, we're all conceived in sin. But after that, we choose to sin against God.
See, I believe children are born completely innocent. We are plucked from heaven as in His vision, and then brought to this world, and what is in this world turns us. We get tempted. We get just like the Garden of Eden. You've got that apple there, and some people choose to take that path, and some people choose to take that path. But I believe when we're actually conceived and born, we are innocent. We are not quite as wonderful as angels, but we're pretty close. And some people are actual angels brought down to earth. They are just, the angels decided they wanted to know what earth was like, so they asked to be born, and they're raised, and when they go back up there, they're angels again. So, we all choose up in heaven if we want to come down here and be born. So,
you have to base what you believe on God's word, else you have no objective standard.
I'm just saying this is how I believe. I'm going to respect how you believe, and that's where I have a problem too with a lot of so-called is that it's very judgmental, like I said. I respect how you guys feel, but I don't feel like a lot of you respect how I feel in ways that I see stuff different.
Well, I can respect it. I'm just saying that may not necessarily line up with God's word until God says.
Okay. My brother and I were talking about this. You guys go by your Bible, but don't you believe that the Bible, the Torah, if I use the right word, all this stuff, essentially is the same thing, just different perspectives and different ways of seeing what God was wanting?
Well, God has put everything He wants us to know about Him in His Word.
But the Bible is just tellings. It's a book.
Yes.
Just like, I don't know if it's right, the Torah. That's how those people perceived what God's tellings were. And I don't know all the different, like Buddhism, that's how they believe. But all in all, it's the same God. It's the same.
No, man, that's actually because the Buddhists and Muslims, they have a different God. That's not the God of the Bible.
No, I'm not. Okay, theirs isn't called God. He shows Himself in many different ways. Just like I believe that all the Greek gods, they were just different branches of God. They were still God. They were just different forms of Him. That's how I believe. The Greek gods, the Roman gods, the Muslim gods, the Viking gods, they were all the same God, just the different ways they saw them.
Well, do you know what Jesus Christ said about this matter? He said in the book of John, He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. He's the only God.
Well,
He's the
how
only
many years was God around before Jesus?
What's that?
No one can come to God till Him, but how many years was God around before Jesus?
He's existed eternally. He's never not existed.
Okay, so how did people know to go to Jesus before He was actually born?
Well, they came to God even before Jesus.
But you just said, it said no one can get to God without going through Jesus. So I'm saying, how did they get to God before Jesus?
Because they knew God He had revealed Himself, even though Jesus did not come to the earth yet. And now we know about Jesus Christ. He's the most popular person who's ever existed.
I'm not saying that He doesn't. I'm saying that no one knows the truth. I'm sorry, you guys think you guys know the truth.
Well, Jesus is the truth.
He said
He was.
We all will find out the truth when we die.
We don't want to wait till then because it'll be too late.
We don't.
Okay.
The Muslims go their belief. Let's say their belief system. They gotta go to God this certain way. Okay, that's what they believe. I believe you got to go through Jesus. None of us are going to know the truth until we actually die. And there have been people who have died, and they find out that up there's a bunch of doors. The Star of David, whatever the Torah stuff is, us, it's all different dimensions of heaven. It all brought them all to the same place. And I find that incredible, and it goes right with what I believe. We're all going to find out that,
well, a lot of people will
all
find
this
out.
hatred is caused by religion. You realize that, don't you? All this hatred in this world, we're fighting over whose religion is right. And that's not what God wants. God doesn't want us fighting over whose religion. We're killing each other in the name of God, and God does not want that. I know that for sure. So, but I gotta get her home before she has a meltdown from sitting that long. But
I appreciate your coming to talk to me.
I just wanted to know where you stood on.
Thank you for speaking with me.